Were you among those pushing for the bigger tax cuts?
Well, I have no inside information here. Tax cuts are a very, very quick way of getting money into the economy, and they are a good stimulus. They presumably are going to be part of the overall stimulus package. Most of it will be, I expect, spending.
Most economists say that the stimulus checks that went out under the Bush administration didn't really do anything to stimulate the economy, that people saved it or paid down their debt rather than going out and buying new TVs or what have you. So how would this $500 tax credit work differently?
Well, the difference is that this would be permanent, a permanent change in the tax code. Now, those temporary checks that went out, people regarded them, obviously, as one-time extra money. So they use them, as a lot of people would use one-time extra money, they use them to pay down their debts or to do other things other than spend them. But if you know that you're going to actually get a permanent $1,000 tax break with regard to your family finances, you might spend a little bit more of it.
And what about these incentives for businesses with a tax break there?
Well, the incentives for businesses, apparently, and again, I'm not speaking from any inside information, I'm just talking about what I understand. The tax credits are two kinds. One is allowing businesses to take the big losses that most businesses have incurred over 2008, 2009, and use them to reduce their tax liabilities. Now, businesses could do this anyway under the tax code, but this just means that they can accelerate this for 2009. You know, the economy needs more spending, and if businesses have every incentive to do more spending, this is great. Also an incentive to hire new workers. Businesses that do this new hiring will get extra tax incentives, and that's all to the good because a lot of businesses these days have an incentive to do just the opposite, and that is to lay workers off.
Right. Secretary Reich, when we're talking about any kind of stimulus plan or economic rescue package, what we've seen already passed, that taxpayers are footing the bill for, doesn't seem to have done much. We're seeing companies that received dollars hand over fist, refusing to explain what they're doing with the taxpayer money they got. So this time there seems to be more delay. There seems to be more thought and care going into how do you stimulate the economy. Is there anything that you're looking at in your position as a former labor secretary and going, you know, they really need to do this, and if so, what is it?
Well, first of all, Contessa, most of the money that's already been spent by the Treasury Department went to Wall Street. I mean, it didn't go to consumers, it didn't go to regular businesses, didn't go to small business, went to Wall Street. And Wall Street basically sat on it and still hoarding it, mainly because the banks don't want to lend if people are not going to be able to repay. You see, all of this is about getting consumers jobs, getting people jobs, and getting better pay. And that's what really the focus of the stimulus has to be, whether we're talking about tax breaks or we're talking about new spending. I mean, for example, one thing that's very important is that the states and localities right now are facing budget shortfalls of about, well, $100 to $300 billion over the next couple of years. That means they're cutting back on teachers and firefighters and sanitation workers, all kinds of services that we rely on. Well, if you fill in those shortfalls, you get not only all those jobs back, but you also provide public services that people need. So that's another very fast way of getting money to the people who need it.